Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us. So I'm just going to start with, what is your name?
My name is Leroy Espanola Jr. And I have 1 year, 6 months, and 6 days of sobriety.
That's so awesome. And so how long did you actually battle with addiction?
So at first I never knew I was even battling with addiction until I was too far into it, you know. Started off with some weed and weed and smoking weed and stuff, and then, you know, I never really knew that I had a problem until I started getting into heavier drugs, and I couldn't stop. And now looking back on things that I have learned, I think I always battled with addiction from when I was younger.
Wow, so more than 10, 15 years.
Right, for sure, yeah. Since maybe I was, you know, I'm 38 years old now, and since I was probably about 11, 12 years old, I was smoking weed, and you know, as the drugs progressed, then that's when I started realizing that I had an addiction problem.
So when did you realize that you needed help?
So when I realized I needed help was, you know, is that thing that I had learned in NA and AA, that, you know, insanity. You know, I kept using and things was never getting better, was just getting worse. And even friends that I would use with, I was coming around and everybody, you know, like there was just kind of, you know, we were all using together, and things were just getting worse. You know, we would talk about all our problems and we would just still have them. They would never go away, only for short periods of time.
Right.
Yeah.
How has your life changed since you've gotten sober?
You know, I have really good friends that I can rely on now. We've been hanging out. We've been doing a lot of fun things. You know, I've been being of service to other people. You know, everything I learned, I apply to my life. I've been picking people up, bringing them to church, bringing them to AA, NA meetings, and it feels so good. You know, I wake up in the morning, I'm happy. You know, is no more of my depression anymore in my life.
So what kept you going on days that you wanted to give up? Like, was there something that motivated you?
You know, and I thought about that question. You know, I think what motivated me was, you know, I was always a really strong person, and when I realized that being a drug addict was such a hard life, that's one thing I realized. Like, you know, being a drug addict is not an easy life. It's totally not. You know, I wake up, I cannot do anything if I don't have any drugs, and you know, now that I'm sober, it's such an easy life. So you know, if you're struggling with an addiction, being an addict is one of the hardest lives I ever had. It's way easier.
People think it's so easy.
Right.
It's not.
It's just hard.
Now, how did God impact your journey?
You know, now that I've been getting into the Word, and I've been attending Bible studies and everything, it's teaching me how to be a better father, friend, and person. And for sure, you know, it's guiding me in the right path. And I just wake up with happiness every morning and every day.
What do you think is the greatest gift that sobriety's given you?
It's giving me a new start, you know, it's giving me a new start with my friends, family. I'm making new friends, and life is just so great.